I'm gonna tell everyone a story. One of the things I love about you, Cam, is every time we meet, you always surprise me somehow, and it's the most random stuff. So I just recall one time we were speaking at an event, and then you came in and you were looking a bit flustered, and you're like, "Should I've just been mugged?" I think you know where I'm going with this. And it's like, Atuksha, I've been mugged. And I was really concerned and thinking, oh no, what's happened? What's happened? He said, just been to the florist and I've just paid for a bunch of roses. I've just been mugged. It's close to Valentine's Day, wasn't it? Or it might even have been on Valentine's Day. I can't remember, but I just was not expecting that. So it did make me laugh a lot that day.
You have a lot of fun.
Cam, we've spoken a little bit about the Learn Whilst Investing program and allowing people to invest in live projects and learn along the way. Can you share your thoughts with regards to being able to offer that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is actually a discussion I've had with yourself. I've had discussions with other developers as well. And my friends that are developers, they say to me, well, one guy, his name's Raj, he said, he does developments, quite large developments. And he said, Cam, you're nuts. Why the heck are you spending all your time, much of your time teaching these people? Because they're just going to be asking you question after question, silly questions, which, is so annoying when you're making money from your development anyway. Why are you bothering with all of that? I ain't got the patience, he says. That's it. Yeah. And he says, I'm not friendly either. Said, all right, fair enough. That's one viewpoint. I mean, in a way, some of what he's saying is right. I mean, I suppose what I get from that is that it is a lot of effort to actually train people properly, and that's the key. I'm not talking about. I mean, there's many trainers out there. I'm not gonna mention names. All training is great. You always get something from it, but there are so many people that are just bamboozling people. Showing amazing deal on how they're going to become a millionaire in the next 90 days and all of that kind of nonsense, So forgive me for saying this, but I'm just being honest with you, right? So the way we do this at Premier Property is, like I say, we will share a project where we have a system for training that, we've developed over the last 12 years plus of mentoring and training people. I've trained over 100,000 people. I've mentored over 1,000 people one-to-one, where they're getting really good results. And they're saying good things about us behind our backs. Just honest recommendation. Why? Because we put a lot of effort into that. I put a lot of personal effort into that. So it's not really, if you're going to train someone properly, it ain't that easy. But at Premier Property, I don't know, there's something in me. I love, like I mentioned earlier, I do love training people. I love sharing. And what's a better way than actually being a part of a live project and kind of being a part of that project in different stages, but not dealing with the day-to-day and learning on that project. So this is something that we do at Premier Property. It's something that we've been doing over the last year, so it's fairly new, but people are loving it. They like the fact that they can be part of something that's bigger, something that maybe for them by themselves would be a difficult entry level, and this makes it a very easy entry level for them to get into. And while they're doing that, they're getting honest learning so that they can decide to do a second project by themselves, or they could carry on doing a second project with us at Premier Property. It just opens up their eyes to how the practicality of a project actually really works. And it also busts myths out there that you become a millionaire in 30 days. No, you don't become a millionaire in 30 days in my experience. In the people that I train, that might take a year to 18 months to become financially free. Some people have done it in 3 months. Some people take 24 months, and that's fine. So your time frame is your time frame. So depending where you are in your property journey right now, the learning as you're learning as how do you pronounce it? How do you say it? Your terminology?
Learn whilst investing. Learning along the way.
Yeah, learning as you're investing is a great way of doing it. And to be fair, you don't really want to be doing, it's something that you guys listening in are looking to do, or you're wanting to do. Be aware of commitment. So we don't offer this to people out there just that we don't know yet. This is for people that have got to know us, who understand that we have a very honest environment. They've opened themselves up to that. They've assessed us, and they feel comfortable with us. At that point, I believe is the right time that we then offer the Learn to Invest scheme, as you're calling it, at that point. So that might just be, you come along on 1 or 2 trainings or something. We get to know each other better. It's important that you do this. I believe. Check people out. What are they about? How are they? How consistent are they? Are you getting a gut feel of honesty? Is it practical? All of that. That'd be my suggestion anyway.
That's really important. And actually, with everyone self-isolating and being online, now is the real opportunity to increase your knowledge base in terms of property, the different strategies and all of that, isn't it? So have you made your programs available? Are you running webinars? How's that working?
So yeah, so we're doing trainings by webinar, self-isolating, and to be fair, I'm not very technological, but I've been getting really massively lovely feedback from people on how much they value the trainings, which is actually, I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for technology. So I never used to use it as much, but we're using it right now, and we aim to create as much a live environment as possible, and people have been loving it. Yeah, and absolutely. And I do get a lot of the comment of, Cam, you're very real. This is very real, very specific, a lot of detail. You're actually giving us more than expected. So the nice comments, and it's nice to just get that sort of tick in the box that people are actually getting what you're aiming to get across to them. Now, if there's anybody here who wants to connect with us, because of COVID-19, I've been doing some really crazy things where we're offering webinars for absolutely free, quality content, no fluff, real information. If you're listening in and you are interested in joining us, what you can do is just email me. My email is cam@premierproperty.co.uk. So that's my personal email. So that's Cam, that's with a K, K-A-M, @premierproperty.co.uk. Just email me and just put in there something brief. I'm interested in your next training, and I'll get my team to send over to you the next current training that's coming up. And as we're here, because of Atuksha and Davin, they're a great couple. We do like you guys a lot. We're not going to charge you a penny for your current training that you're going to be doing. That's
fantastic. That's just brilliant. Thank you so much, Cam. I really appreciate that. And as a surprise, I didn't know about that. So before the call or before now. So that's wonderful. I really appreciate it. Cam, with regards to where people are at today, whether they are new to property or have done done baby refurbs or small conversions or whatever that looks like, if they're looking to scale up to that next level, based upon where we currently are, do you have like 2 or 3 tips that you could share with the audience in terms of what they could be doing, or where they should start, or where they should start looking, whatever it is?
So the people that I've trained, out of the hundreds of thousands plus that I've trained so far, what I find is there seems to be 3 types of people typically. I mean, of course, everyone is unique, but they sort of fall into 3 of these camps. So the first camp is that they're absolutely new to property. And when they find us, it's like, oh my God, there's so much information. They love it. So what I remind them is, when they turn up at our trainings, is that, and when you turn up at our training and you're new, remember that I was where you are right now. Everybody starts somewhere. So the fact that you're new and you've got someone who's actually willing to share with you how you can actually do this, I mean, it's a real godsend. So, there's no silly questions. You can relax, just take in what you want to, take in the information. So that would be one tip for sure. The second tip would be, don't do it the way I did it back in 1989, out of desperation. where I took the action, but I didn't have the information. Now, I've explained my reasons that, I couldn't find the people, but that is the longest route, and that you will make the most mistakes, and mistakes in property, trust me, are very expensive. Some people will come back from that. Some people will not come back from that ever again financially. So remember that we're dealing with the highest priced asset in our lifetimes, yet at the same time, it's so easy to get it right. So my tip would be is, don't go alone. You don't need to be alone. Do absolutely get the information. And then the third point would be is then take the action with the information. Because what's the point of really good information if you're not going to do anything with it, right? So that would be my for the new people. Then if we talk about the second camp is the intermediate people, or if we call them intermediate people. So people that have experience. So typically, they've been in property for 2 to 5 years plus. They've got 1 to 4 properties or around that region, depending on wherever they are. So they're property savvy. They have some level of information. I would say the first thing is to build in a gentle slice of naivety, like us. What do I mean by that? Keep the doors open, explore a little bit. Oh, what's this about? How can I, not be closed? Because some people are really closed, aren't they? Oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. No, you don't know what you're doing. You think you know what you're doing. Then you're asking questions like, oh, how do you do that? How do you do this? Oh, how did you deal with the estate agent? How did you get 4 deals done in COVID-19? Well, you clearly don't know then, do you? So, being polite, you'd say to them, keep that door open, keep exploring. And remember, like I do, that learning isn't about a course. Learning is lifelong. The more that you follow, the more you learn, the more you do, in my experience.
Absolutely.
So that's second camp. Then we have the third camp of people. Now, we typically get around 5 to 10% of these people that come into our training environments. And what we find there is, for them, they've already got the financial freedom. The money thing is done. They are there. They're there because they love property. They're also there because they're bored. They're also there because they don't have a purpose in their life. So the tips, as you're asking, for people in that camp would be, well, okay, if you've got financial freedom for you and your family, well, is that it? What are you going to do? You're going to park yourself in a corner somewhere for the rest of your life just because of that? And if you're there, that four holidays a year, more than 4 holidays a year are too many holidays. You want to be back home, if your day isn't structured just because you got enough money because you don't know what to do with your day, then, you need a purpose. So the key one for you would be then, if you're this person, is to find your purpose. Why have you created the money? What more can you do with the money? And think about all your experience that you've got. How can you help others to help you to get that feeling of purpose? If I make
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to leave you with a final question. So one of the things that I've spotted in this whole environment is how amazingly well the community has pulled together to help others where help is needed. So, and that is just shining bright as far as I'm concerned. And people are doing the craziest things. They're stepping up without question, and it's just absolutely amazing. Now, as you know, I am a huge fan of community and people helping people. And I know your community is very important to you. Have you noticed how, or has there been a change in terms of how they are helping each other? That's the first part of this question. And the second part is the property community as a whole. How do you think they can better serve each other?
You're quite right there. So it's when it hits the fan that you really find out what people are actually about.
Yeah.
And what I'm loving about our Premier Property community, which by the way, you can all be part of, happy for you to be part of that. I mentioned my email, haven't I? So just in case you didn't get it, it's cam@premierproperty.co.uk. The cam's with a K, K-A-M. Feel free to just email me, and I'll get my team to send you something where how you can become part of the community, and also for our next training, you can have that for absolutely free as a thank you gift for being here. So what we're noticing with our community is that they are pulling together, and what they're loving is the practical positivity that we bring. So we do a mastermind, for example, once a month for our Premier Property Inner Circle, which is my mentees. Now, when we did our last one, people were just amazed by what I shared of the opportunities that we're finding right now. And all I did was share what we've been doing over the last 2 weeks. Because you just imagine, you know, sometimes I need to remember this, you know, we're surrounded by support. You know, our community is surrounded by support. They've got peers who are helping each other. They've got mentors like me, you know, who are helping them. We've got other mentors within our Premier Property community who are helping each other. I've also got mentors, because there's always another level. So I've also got 7 mentors, one of them the billionaire in property, and different aspects in business. You know, so there's a stretch. So there's people that I can also call upon, and then there are people that can call upon me. And our community, what we're finding, what I was amazed and blown away by was the fact that when we did our mastermind, it was like a relief. It was a relief of like, oh my God, there is so much opportunity right in front of me, and I didn't even think about it. Because, you know, not their fault, because for the rest of the time they were listening to the media, they're listening to, you know, all that's going on in the news, and it's constantly, we're bombarded with this, aren't there? So much negativity. So what I love about our community is that there's a real positive vibe. You know, in the property community, there is a real positive vibe. People that self-select themselves to move forward, and people are genuinely doing the best they can to help each other. You'll find we're finding in the community of property itself, you know, estate agents. You know, estate agents are, I mentioned, they're being quite flexible. They understand what is happening, so they're quite flexible with you. This flexibility wasn't there 3 months ago. Your contractors are flexible. So you asked a question earlier, are contractors working? Yes, they are. You know, some of them are self-isolating, but some of them are working, and they are allowed to work in empty properties where they keep the safe distance. So work is still going on. So contractors right now are listening to you. 3 months ago, everyone was busy. Now they've got time for you. So it's a great time. You know, there's a whole team in everyone, letting agents, even your solicitors, they're working from home. You know, they've got a bit more time to have a conversation with you. You know, there's all of this. So the whole community seems to be really being, in one way, doesn't feel like it, but they are actually being helped, can't they, by COVID-19? In this way, being pushed into this community of, you know, self-help and helping each other. That's what we're finding anyway.
Yeah, that is so true. I'm absolutely loving that piece of it. So there are huge challenges. You know, I'm the forever optimist, and so I'm always looking for what good is coming out of it. And the community piece is incredibly strong, which is a wonderful thing to see, because we're getting the same. People in the Simple community as well are helping each other where they can, and we're getting tons and tons of messages, which is a wonderful place to be. So thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your insight, and I know it's going to be of value to the people that we push the video out to. So thank you so much. And I will put your email address at the bottom of the video anyway. I shall point people to Premier Property, so if they then want to find out more, they can get in touch with you.
Thank you for having me, Atuksha. I hope the content was useful.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.